What's up, y'all? I'm Deidra, and this is Shade Tree Reads. Today's video is part 2 of 3 of a haul video. These are still books that I bought in May, April, or March. But unlike the first set, I have not read these, and these are just honestly either gifts or cover buys. So let's just jump right into it. This will be a quick video. Okay, so like I said in the intro, these are books that I either got from bookshop.org, Barnes and Nobles, thrift books, or half price books, or they were gifted to me. Like I said, in March and April, I was popping tags when it came to books, and I really was just buying. I was just buying stuff that I wanted. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. But all of these books I intend to read. But the next set is books that I plan to read before the year's out. These are books that I just want to read at some point. First one we have is I Hope You Get This Message. This one, I seen this when it first came out. I feel like it was really popular. I don't remember much about any criticisms of it. I don't remember if people loved it. I just remember really liking this cover, and the general premise of this is, I'm just gonna read the last paragraph or the last couple sentences of the synopsis. So it says, with only 7 days to face their truths and right their wrongs, Jesse, Kate, and Nadim's paths collide, even as their worlds are pulled apart. So if you've read this, let me know what you thought of it and leave me a comment about it. The next book I have is New Suns by, I think it was edited by Niecy Shaw. I also have Everfair, which I'm not sure I've ever talked about on my channel. I'm not sure how long I've had this, but I've had it for a while, and I have not read either, obviously. But I want to get into Niecy Shaw's works. I've read a short story by them, and very recently I read it in August. It was actually, I think I read it last week while I'm lying. It was a entry in the Black Stars anthology series from Amazon, and I thought it was okay. I didn't really I read it twice because I didn't really understand it the first time around, and second time I got a little bit better understanding. But something about those particular short stories in that series, I'm not really understanding them very well. I've read 3 out of the 5 or 6 in that series, and so far I've given them all like 3 stars. But I didn't want to discount their work based off of that one story that I read, and I've heard really good things about Everfair, and I've been meaning to read that forever. And this one is short stories by various people. I'm trying to get better about reading anthologies and appreciating them for what they are. And finding new authors that way. I see a couple authors that I recognize. There's Rebecca Roanhorse in here, and LeVar Burton wrote the foreword. Sylvia Moreno Garcia is in here, and I feel like I've seen Lily Yu's name before, Lily Yu, but I'm not sure. Anyways, there looks to be about 15 stories in here, and I'm excited. I'm excited to get into more short stories, speculative fiction, edited by Niecy Shaw. The next book I have here is Detransition Baby by Tori Peters. I got this because another one of my friends in one of my group chats had highly recommended we all pick this up. I'm not sure if she has finished it by now, but they were enjoying it by the last time I talked with them about it, but they hadn't finished it. So I'm not sure if they had finished it at this point. And I remember there being some controversy about this book because I think the author is trans. I'm not sure, but there was this book was up for an award, for some women's award maybe, and people had trouble or took issue with this person being nominated in that category, I believe, if I'm remembering the controversy correctly. But anyways, I am really excited to get into this one. This one is about, I think, a couple, and one detransitions so that they can have a baby, and then I am not sure where it goes from there. But I'm excited. I'm excited to get into this one. I'm not sure if I'll get to it in 2021 like I had originally planned, but I'm excited. Okay, so I accidentally lied. I thought these were books that I hadn't already read. And I'm not sure if I've already mentioned this one on my channel. It's Battle Royale by Kashun Takami, translated by Nathan Collins. And this is a second translation of this book. This one came out in, I think 2014 is when this translation came out, and it does not show me who originally translated it to English the first time. But I hybrid read this, and I just simply was not expecting it to be as violent as it was. Like, there's guns on the cover, there's katanas on the cover, I think there's a chainsaw on the cover, and I just straight up was not expecting it. I just wasn't. And so this is the story. This is where Suzanne Collins, I don't know, let me not say that, but this is very similar to The Hunger Games. It came out before The Hunger Games. It's very, very similar, except for these contestants, if you will, are reaped from a specific classroom at a specific school, and that school changes every time they have to have this experiment. And it's very violent, very, very violent. Like, from the beginning, it's violent. There's a manga of this same story that shows pictures. I can't show you the picture because I marked off. I'll quickly flash it just so you can get a quick idea. So I marked it with people as they died. Now everybody's face is marked off of here, just because I didn't want to accidentally give spoilers when I talked about this book eventually, but I won't show it to you just in case I forgot to mark one. But yeah, so I marked them off as they went, and I suggest that you do the same if you happen to read this book too, because the names are hard, because they're just, I mean, especially if you're American, they're hard because you just don't, they're not names that you hear very often. And so you want to kind of understand who's dying and who's still around, who's still playing the game and whatnot. So I would suggest that if you don't get the picture, get a list of the names of the people in that class and mark them off as they die, or as they whatever. This was really good. I suggest that people who liked Hunger Games, The Hunger Games, to read this, just so you kind of know your history, I guess. I don't know. That's why I bought it, because I wanted to know where the idea came from, and I'm glad I did. If you thought Hunger Games was violent and a little bit too violent, then you probably won't like this. I did read the books and watch the movies. I'm pretty sure I was at all the midnight releases for Hunger Games. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I can't say that I enjoyed it more because it was so violent and there was not really much else of a story. There was social commentary, of course, but there wasn't much else of a story in the way that Hunger Games had. Anyways, Battle Royale might have a slight angle change, and for that I apologize. The next book I have here is Terminus. I actually have had this for a really long time. I did not buy this back in May of this year. I've had it for a couple years, and I haven't finished it yet, and I don't think I've talked about it on this channel. So I'm pretty sure I bought this in 2019 when I first discovered BookTube. And I think that I heard about this on Chloe from Thistle and Versus channel or somewhere on Facebook. But this is Terminus, edited by Milton J. Davis. It's the Tales of the Black Fantastic from the ATL. I would like to know who did the cover art. Their signature is kind of cut off, but doesn't that look dope? I can't remember who. I think it was in Jerry's interview series that took place a couple weeks ago. I think somebody mentioned Milton Davis in one of their interviews, and so it reinvigorated my desire to read this. This is just a bunch of short stories. I think they were all written by, oh, it tells you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 stories in here, one of which is written by Mr. Davis, and the rest are various authors that I have actually not heard of, but I look forward to getting into their works. This is Terminus, Tales of the Black Fantastic from the ATL. Okay, I told a second lie. I actually want to read this for Black Aweenathon, but I don't think I put it on my TBR, so I'm not sure if I'll get to it this year. So Amari and the Night Brothers. There may be another there may be another Halloween readathon that I can pop this into. I have the audiobook. I'm so excited for this. This is by B.B. Austin, and it's the story of Amari, who is trying to figure out what happened to her brother. She doesn't believe that he's dead. She wants to find him, and she sets out in a magical journey, what ends up being a magical journey to find him. There's not a whole lot more to say about this. Got some embossed stars on there. Super hype for Amari and the Night Brothers. Okay, next book is a book that I got recommended from Ashley. I meant to read this a long time ago, and I borrowed it from the library several times, and finally I just like, forget it, I'll get my own copy. And that's Front Desk by Kelly Yang. This is about, let's just read this little brief synopsis. It says, it will take all of Mia's courage, kindness, and hard work to get through this year. Will she be able to hold on to her job, help the immigrants and guests escape Mr. Yao, and go for her dreams? Who knows? I think her family owns a hotel, and maybe she helps out there sometimes. And I think this is a middle grade, and I'm just really excited because everybody who I know who has read this has really loved it. So super excited for Front Desk. This next book is kind of controversial. I think people either love it or hate it, and that's Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This is the story about a girl who goes to Vegas on a whim after grad school, and she is just ready to let her hair down a little bit after school, and she ends up marrying some girl while she's in Vegas. And it's a story, I think it's the story of what happens after they come back from their wild weekend, and her getting to know her new wife and her family. Honey Girl. This next book was a gift from a dear friend. They have a YouTube channel, and you should probably go check them out. Stitch Witch Reading. This one is After Hours Attraction. They gave me this not too long after me and Ashley started. This was last year, actually. I didn't receive this year. This was last year when I got this from them. But they sent this to me after me and Ashley started our Black Love channel, which I hope that me and Ashley can resync our schedules and get that back popping soon. But that is why I have this one. It is by Kiana Alexander. It's called After Hours Attraction. I tried to get the sticker off and it didn't work very well. excited. Okay, so I love sci-fi movies. I am just really starting to read sci-fi books, and I really like them. But one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite sci-fi movies, if we're going to be specific in a genre, next to The Fifth Element, is A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. And so when I saw this cover, it was like right next to a Nancy Boys on the shelf. I thought this was the cutest little cover. I don't think I realized it was a book until years after I had seen the movie. But anyways, I just thought this is a cute little addition. I'm very excited to actually read the book. I hope it's really similar to the movie. But if it's not, I'll probably still have a good time. This is only 217 pages? No, 215 pages. And if you've read this, talk to me about how it compares to the movie, if you've seen the movie and read the book. This is a picture of Douglas. Again, another sci-fi book that I picked up because I think there was a read-along or maybe an interview with this author, and I was supposed to read it right away. As soon as I got it, I never got around to it. This one, actually, I'm glad I opened it up. I bought this book, Remote Control by Nnedi Okorafor, from Sister Sci-Fi. I bought this and another book, the next book I'm going to talk about, and one of my first orders from their website. I want to say maybe Injury was hosting a read-along or a discussion about this book, and I just missed the discussion, but super excited to get into Remote Control. I read Lagoon, I read LaGuardia, and I feel like I've read one other thing by Dr. Okorafor, but very excited. So I heard good things about this. And the last book in this haul is the other book that I got from Sister Sci-Fi when I ordered that day, is The Conductors. This is another book that I heard about from Chloe from Thistle and Verse, and I think they have a dedicated video. If they do, I'll try to link it in the cards or at least in the description box. I am gonna have a good long while before I read this, just because I read Kindred recently, and I am good on slave narratives for a while. I don't think this is necessarily heavy on that type, but I don't want to put myself in a slump, so I'm gonna give myself a little time. Oh, I've damaged this book. I'm gonna give myself a little time before I jump into this, but I'm very excited to get to it. I heard great things about it. I think I was watching an interview with Nicole Glover somewhere on BookTube, and it made me really excited to read this book. So, The Conductors by Nicole Glover. Okay, y'all, that's it for this part 2 haul. I'll have one more haul, and those are going to be the books that I intend, either they're on my Black Aweenathon TBR, or I intend to read them before the end of the year. But these books were just books that I bought based on the cover, based on the word of mouth, based on how I was feeling that day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Check out some of my older videos. I intend to get back on posting more frequently. We'll see y'all in the next video, which will be sometime next week or over the weekend. Bye, y'all. Wear your sunscreen.